Hello and welcome to Separated by Water. An episode jam-packed today. I think we'll change the running order a wee bit, but I'll introduce everybody. We're joined by Dave and Declan Berry. Berry, my apologies. How are you guys? Are you well?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Yeah, good, thanks.
Good to have you. We'll preview the Galmington Dragons under-11s and with some good news about Declan as well. But we'll come straight to you, Colin, my other half on Separated by Water, with the news that I think the deal's nearly done with De Zerbi. What's your feelings on that? Welcome, and how are you? And what's your feelings on that new manager?
Well, thank you for your welcome. Hi, my oh God knows. How do I feel about it? I don't know. I would like to be all excited, probably. If we weren't stuck in this mire, I would be more excited. The man, if he takes it, he's 7 games to save our lives, never mind our season. Whether he can do that, it's hard to know. Whether anyone could do it, it's hard to know. I'm on record as having said I preferred a Harry Redknapp type for 7 games who might just put a bit of simplicity into it, getting the players to play on back four, getting them to play in their preferred positions and keeping it all simple. I think that, Tudor seemed to tinker nearly every game, be it personnel or shape, none of which worked clearly by results. So De Zerbi is an immediate thing to do, which is get us some points. It's possible we went into the game against Sunderland away in the bottom 3. If by scheduling West Ham kick off, I think, on the Friday night. So they'll have an opportunity to beat Wolves, which I hope they don't, and go above us in the table. So, to say the stakes are high must be the understatement of the football year. He is well regarded. He's one of these managers, maybe like Marco Silva, who almost regardless of their results and seasons, seem to be well thought of. He certainly did well at Brighton. I liked what Brighton were doing under him. But he left for a cloud, I think, and he went to Marseille, and apparently he left under a cloud too. So let's talk about a 5-year contract. Seems strange, to say the least. I wish him all the very, very best. What I would love is another Pochettino, somebody who takes us out by the roots and builds it all up again. Whether he has the talent, which I think he may do, but has the commitment, which I'm not sure about, remains to be seen. But for heaven's sake, please, Roberto, set us up in a way that gets us enough points to stay up. And you have my best wishes.
Yeah, well, we'll wait and see.
Yeah.
We'll wait and see. Dave, if we can come to you there, do you feel it's a good signing for Spurs? A good manager?
No, I don't at all. I look at De Zerbi when he was at Brighton, and Brighton like to play out of the back. They like to play good football, get it up, But I think when you're down there fighting, because I can remember when Sam Allardyce went to Leeds a couple of years ago. He was practicing before the match. His goalkeeper wasn't taking short goal kicks. It was pinging it up to the wings and just trying to get it out of the danger zone as quick as you can. I don't think Tottenham have got the players to play out the back. So is he going to come in and is he going to change his whole style of football for 7 games and then start next season with the way he wants to play? I don't think he's been in a dogfight before De Zerbi. I don't think that many of the Tottenham players have been in a dogfight before. But down there at the bottom of the Premiership, it is what it is. You are in a dogfight. You need players that are going to stand up and they're going to fight for you every week. They're going to fly into every tackle, And I don't think his style of play coming in is going to work down in a relegation dogfight.
Yeah, I was afraid you were going to say
Yeah, well, I heard them talking on the radio today. I was doing a bit of power washing and my buds in. I was listening to Talk Sport and they were saying it seems to be that he reacts to problems from above, the people above him. And I don't think you'll get a much more difficult situation than Spurs, people at the top of Spurs, because, and I'm not saying that in a snide way, Colin, I just think that I think it's another strange choice. I think they're looking at the long term rather than the short term, and I think they need to be looking at the short term rather than the long term, if you know what I mean. But at the end of the day, West Ham are still favourites to go down with Wolves and Burnley. So I wouldn't put, but well, it'd be interesting to see how he does on the first Friday night, the first game he plays away to Sunderland. We'll just wait and see. Anyway, let's move on to Forest. Dave, I'll put the first question to you about Forest. We're talking about De Zerbi there. Our managers, I heard Ali McCoy's making a joke today to say that your manager or your keeper was in Colin, and it looks as if he's been out for 2 more managers.
I heard that one. Yeah, everyone's getting in on the act.
But yeah, waiting in. But like we can laugh, Dave. We're the same. What do you think we've made the right move with Pereira, or do you think we should have stuck with Dyche? I looked at some figures. Of the 32 points we have, we get 22 of them under Dyche. Do you think that we've made the right move, or do you think we should have stuck with any of the previous managers?
I think that Nuno had to go, really, because once you go against the owner, then you're out basically. And I think with our club, that I've said it before, that we're in a unique position that I think our fans like our owner better than we like any manager that comes into Forest. You know what I mean? So once Nuno went against him, there was only one winner there. Ange came in, he was just no good from the start, really. That was just an atrocious appointment, which I'm glad. I'm glad that Mr. Marinakis has identified that early and got rid. He brought Dyche in, but I think we're in an era now in Premiership football where the players have got all the power. And I think it was quite clear the players didn't really take to Dyche, which I thought was an unfortunate thing, because I think he could have done good things at Forest, given time there. But like you say, he got the 22 points out of the 32. Would he have kept us up? Yeah, probably. But then would the players have given up playing for him? Because I think it was quite evident that they didn't like him, really, or like his style of play. Was it like a dinosaur style of play, the way he wanted them to do with all the running and training and things like that? And now we've got Pereira. I think that he'll keep us up. And we've had some good games under him. We've had some bad games under him. But I'm just confused on what makes a good manager and what doesn't, really, to be honest with you, because everybody changes left, right, and centre.
Exactly. It all changes too quick. Yeah, Colin.
Yeah.
So, your question?
Sorry? There.
Have you a question for Declan?
No, just to talk about it, we're going to come down to the areas. I mean, the whole Forest thing interests me. A question for Declan, really. You're a young guy, the age of Sky TV, and all. When did you become a Forest fan? And do your mates all support Forest, or are they all support the big TV clubs?
Nah, all my mates support the big teams all around here. A couple of them support. I think one supports Everton and stuff like that, but it's mainly the big teams they support. And yeah, with Dave as my dad, I was only ever going to support Forest. So it's been my life, really.
Otherwise, he would have been out.
He got a good
yeah, exactly.
Good to see that the father's been still influenced something.
Exactly, but you don't have much say in these things, I have to say. My father didn't follow any football, so it was really up to me, my own choice. But yeah, I had a fair guess that it was a strong influence from your dad. We'll move on. We're going to talk about Galmington Dragons, and then we're going to talk about Declan's good news. But before we go, Dave, back to yourself. This current era with Forest, we've been in relegation battles before. We've been in playoffs, which went bad for us, went good for us. Where does this one rank emotionally for you?
Well, I right up there for me. I mean, I first went to watch Forest in 1989 in the Simod Cup Final at Wembley. I think there was about a 3-4 year period there. We was at Wembley each year, really, watching them at Wembley. And I can remember watching the Bayern Munich match on TV, and I said to myself then, I just want to watch Forest play in Europe. I don't care where it is. I just want to watch them play abroad in Europe somewhere. And I didn't think it was ever going to happen. And then when we obviously qualified last year, we got to Seville. against Real Betis first game. Actually, there was no chance I was missing that. So to me, and just for the kids to experience it so early in their lives of seeing Forest play in Europe and going all around, in things like that, it's just brilliant. So for me personally, being a supporter going to watch them, it's up there in the best era I've seen Forest play.
Yeah, I can say the only danger with starting so young, in European football and so on, you become to expect it. My first season as a Spurs fan was 1966-67, that long ago.
Yeah.
When we won the FA Cup, beat Chelsea in the final, finished third in the league. Jim Greaves and all that. So I thought it was only a good thing from then on, but unfortunately, it hasn't been quite like that. A good lot of years in Europe, of course. But, some of those were the days of the old, what was Spurs Cup and then the UEFA Cup.
Yeah.
When it seemed to be a lot of the teams were Eastern Europe, impossible to get to. You just didn't go. When we were playing the Warsaws or the Romanian teams, the Bulgarian teams, and so on. Nobody went. You weren't allowed in, and if you got in, you probably wouldn't have been allowed out. So it's a great era now. The travel's easy. A lot of the more exotic cities like Seville, you mentioned earlier on Porto. They're on the map now. It is a great time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's
yeah.
When we
I'm glad you. Go ahead, Dave.
We're not on that lot because obviously, and my younger boy Elliot, he's 10, so we had COVID for a few years where we couldn't go to football, didn't we, and things like that. But then after COVID, we went to Wembley for the playoff final, and then we went back to Wembley again last year against Man City in the semi-final. And this year he's turning around and saying to me, when are we going to Wembley again this year? I'm like, mate, it doesn't happen all the time. You're just lucky. You've been twice. You've been twice by the age of 10,
Yeah, it's crazy. I was just going to say that a semi-final in the FA Cup last year and then Europe this year. Yeah, I managed to secure a couple of tickets to Porto at home. The home leg, I believe you guys are going out to the away leg first of all. So, you're looking forward to that, Declan?
Yeah, really looking forward to it. Thank you.
Yeah,
and on your 18th birthday,
and happy birthday for that day. That's on your birthday, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, flying out on the Wednesday morning, and then the game's the next day on my birthday.
Nice.
Okay, boy.
Brilliant. Well, bring home the bacon. Bring home the bacon. Okay, guys, we're going to talk about something quite different today. Galmington Dragon under 11s. Dave, you're a coach. I love grassroots football. I think it's so important for the game at all levels, and I really do. Before we talk about it, I'll play a promotional video. What was it that he's won that this brought about this video being made?
Well, it was just one of the parents of the club. He just entered some competition online, like the ones, the sort of things that pop up on Facebook that you can like and share or something like that. And he just done something online. He entered a competition and we won a brand new football kit from the Wembley Foundation for the team. And so they sent somebody down, which is like the promotional video you're going to share now. It just so happened that the man who come down, I was a Forest season ticket holder, just out of pure chance and coincidence. And he come down, actually wanted to get the Forest badge in as much as he could. And hence the reason at the end when Elliot done the Gibbs White celebration as well.
Yeah. Let's look at it. It's a lovely video. Let's look at it.
We're Galmington Dragons under 11s. Mixed boys and girls too. And we're here in Taunton.
Club's ethos is to enjoy it, have a good time and make friends.
The kids are just something else. The way they play, the way they move the ball and the way they stick up for each other, it's just incredible.
Lauren, come on, let's try it.
Do we get to keep them? We should do. Yeah. Oh, go on then.
The kids hope the club massively.
It's one of my favourite colours, my shirt.
Even the parents are loving it.
Brilliant. They look great.
Rather than them all turning up in different shirts, some people haven't got football kits. They turn up all in the same, makes them feel like one.
Brilliant, absolutely superb. I really do. I love grassroots football. Well done. So, how did you get involved with the Dragons?
Well, it was just my younger boy, Ash Elliott, plays for him, because I never got involved with any of Declan's football at all throughout his youth ages, coaching and things like that. Because to be fair, he had 2 or 3 brilliant coaches right from a young age all the way up through. But I just looked at it because I played in defence my whole life, and I don't think Declan ever had one defensive training session at all. His whole career, it was all about pass and move from the back, and there was nothing about tackling, shape, position, or anything like that. Actually, one of my friends has been doing it, and he just wanted some help, so I just said yeah. So I bit the bullet and done my coaching badges and DBS checks, first aid checks, welfare in football and things like that online. And that's why I started at the beginning of this year. And that's why I've not been going to Forest as much, because all my time on Saturdays and coaching during the weeks and things like that is spent with the kids.
Brilliant.
Dave, you mentioned there on the bit about fun, keyword, of course.
Yeah.
So what's the philosophy? What's the philosophy behind the team? You're clear youngsters there. There must be an underlying philosophy, yeah.
Well, there is. We want the kids to have fun. I want the kids to have fun. Try and win a few things if we can. Just have fun and just be part of a team. Because like I've said to Declan before, and I've said to Elliot, the younger kid, all my friends I've got now are friends that I started playing football with at the age of 5 or 6 years old. I assume we're all still best mates now, because I still play a veterans football. I play now twice a month on Sundays we play. And I think there's 7 of us in our team who started together at under 6s who are still playing together now at the age of 45 in the team. So I just think it's about making friends for life. And just having fun and just seeing where it goes, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
that is the best. Sorry, there is a bit of a delay with Colin there. I'm sorry, Colin. I keep cutting over the top of you, but it just seems to be a wee bit of a delay on your end. My apologies. So, what's more important, Dave? I always worry about this in kids' games, or is it the winning or the development? Sometimes I think there's too much emphasis put on winning. Do you agree, or is it?
Well, I think there's a fine balance. There is a fine balance there. Of when I look back on my youth career, actually I can just remember the winning trophies, the cup final days, the league days, and things like that. And we're quite fortunate. We've got quite a good little decent team where we are. To be fair, the Dragons, and so it is about winning. It is about winning, but it's about being fair as well. And it's about trying to get the balance of the two, on what we can do there to make everybody feel involved and to still win as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that, because now because our league this year it's not meant to be competitive this year at under 11s, but then there's a cup that's competitive. So, and we're in a cup semi-final now. We played the quarter-final last weekend and won 3-1, I think, 3-1, 4-1. So that's a competition that we want to win. So when we get to the cup games, it gives the kids a day out potentially in a final somewhere, playing at a nice ground. And the kids will always remember winning a trophy, I think, rather than being knocked out in a semi-final, because we kept game time fair and things like that. To me, that's my opinion. Actually, we're lucky that the parents we've got involved are all on board with what we're seeing as well.
Great.
Good idea, yeah. I think we do remember winning. I was in defence as well, Dave. I was a left back.
Yeah.
I was a left back in the changing rooms, but in the day it was very much hold your line and get the ball in midfield, and that's your job done, I'm glad to see that there's a wee bit of defensive coaching going into the thing, nowadays. You mentioned the word fun, and there's also the word discipline and talking about balance. Kids like that, how do you balance fun with discipline? Is that a challenge?
It can be. I'll give you like a prime example of something that happened this year with like a couple of the kids. So they was really naughty in school, and something happened in school. They was both naughty. So when we was at training on the Friday night, we called all the kids round. And we didn't single out any of the kids that was naughty or anything like that. But obviously, we found out they'd been naughty in school and they was in quite a bit of trouble. So we just told all of them, if you're naughty at school, we will find out from your teachers, and you will not be playing football. You know, like the following weekend, and we give them a stern talking to, like it's 10-year-olds, and them two kids is the attitude in school just changed from that moment to the point of their teacher, which I know anyway, said to me, I don't know what you've done to them two kids, but they've literally changed overnight, and they've turned into like proper good kids now, you know.
That's great, and that's a carrot and the stick at the end of the day, isn't it? That's the, that's it. You get the Friday night football, the training, the weekend,
That's it.
They'll probably have a career in blackmailing and cruel. Very good.
I will just tell them. I just told them that if they're not good at school or whatever, I'm just going to take you to watch Tottenham play, and then that's it. And then they're just really good then.
That is a deterrent. I know that.
Somebody just WhatsApped me there. Says, is Declan not going to get to top? Yeah, we're coming to Declan. We're going to show you a wonder goal that Declan scored, and then we're going to talk about his scholarship. So we will get to Declan. People are feeling you've been left out, Declan, but we'll deal with this first, and then we'll give a good focus on what we're going to talk about. Over here, Dave, GAA and football in Ireland, there's an awful influence with parents on the sidelines. And I went to a game with my grandson not so long ago, and there was a proper shout at the ref. Now, in fairness, the ref was letting tackles go in that was all wrong, but I did think that there was an awful lot of pressure being put on the children from the sideline as well. How do you find that, or with it being a mixed team, is that absent from your game?
Well, we are quite fortunate, our team, that we are quite good, to be fair. So, so our parents don't really shout on the sideline, but then I see some teams that aren't that good, whose parents are trying to shout at their players, and things like that. So we're quite fortunate from our point of view that our parents, we all hang around together. Our parents, like outside of football and things like that. And so I know all like the dads are going to Dublin in a few weeks' time when the season finishes. You know what I mean, for like an end of season do for the parents and stuff. So we're quite lucky in a way that our parents sort of like agree with what we're trying to do on board. So they don't really say a lot to the players apart from cheer if a goal goes in, or you know what I mean, and things like that. So no one really, from our point of view, shouts at the players to go here, to go there, to do this, to do that. And if they do, we've had it before, and you just speak to a few of the parents, say, look, we're trying to tell them one thing, you're trying to tell them another thing, so it's confusing for the child. You've either got to believe in what we're saying or trying to do, or take your child somewhere else. That's it. And they're on board.
Perfect. Yeah, good. I'm glad to hear that. You've got a handle on it.
Just a question, we'll come to close of this part. You're coaching a mixed team. Yeah. Which I'm sure has some challenges, but how do you build confidence in quieter players?
To be fair, we have got some quiet players in our side, but it's just like a training of when we do like a pass and move exercise in training, and then we're trying to get them all to talk on the pitch. So we just tell them all to give like some simple instructions. So all of them will know that there's like a player on. You've got time, a half term we're teaching them now that they can do, and things like that. But that's all they need. It's just sort of like a 3 or 4 simple instructions to do. You can't fill like a 10-year-old's head with stuff that you'd tell like a Premiership player or something like that. You know what I mean? You give them small, simple instructions, and then once they've mastered the 2 or 3 instructions you can give them, then you can add a 4th and 5th instruction in and things like that to them. So it is a slow process. What's been challenging this year is the first year they played offsides. So that was part of the reason I came in, because sort of like the coach who was doing it, I played with for years and years, and he was a striker. He didn't really have a clue about the offside rule. So he asked me to come in and sort of like help him and see if I could teach the kids the offside rule, which was challenging at the start of the season, I'll be fair. But in that now they're all moving up as a unit, they're moving back as a unit. And it is at the very first time that I didn't say anything to them, and they caught somebody offside, and all the defence was in their line, and they put their hand up and shouted offside. It made the proudest coach you could ever like see, you know.
I remember.
Yeah, there must be a lot of pride.
Your hand up.
Yeah, there must be a lot of pride involved in it. You know, it's amazing. I'm just noticing there that they've just now confirmed Derby, Colin, as your manager. He's now been confirmed. He's arrived at the Tottenham Hotspur ground. So, yeah. Dave, where can people? I have put it in the bio, but is there anywhere else? I put a link in just for your website. Is there anywhere else we can find your? If people want their kids to get involved with your team, is there anything else we can they can find you or look at you or look you up or whatever?
I don't think there is, to be fair, because now with all like safeguarding issues and things like that, you can't really put kids stuff online anymore, and you know what I mean, and things like that. It's all right like with the promotional video and things like that, but then sort of like you can't put down the names of the players that are playing and things like that. So it's sort of like like an area that you can't do. But anybody that's local in the area that wanted to join Galmington Dragons, you would just go online, Google it. And then you just fill out like a welcome to the club form, you know, and then you go from there.
That's fine. I put that link on our bio for today. So if anybody wants to be interested in it from that area, is it Taunton? The Taunton area, is that it? Yep.
Taunton, yeah, Taunton. Yeah.
Taunton. Okay, well that's great. And so Declan, we'll now come over to you, mate. You've been given a scholarship to move to America, and I'm told that it was as a result of a wonder goal of yours. And I have to say, I've watched this about 30 times this weekend since Dave sent it to me. So I'm going to play that, and then Colin will go into asking you some questions. So let's.
Mikan since he's come on in actual fact as well. Away there from Green. Berry over the goalkeeper. What a goal!
Tell you what.
What a stunning strike from Declan Berry. And Taunton a 2 to the good.
What a fantastic goal that was. All the way down the left. There we go. Super piece of skill. Looks up, actually super strike. He's done the keeper. Into the far corner. What a great strike that was.
Pick it out. What a goal, mate. What a goal. What do you think of that call?
Yep, it was. I think that the ground probably might be what the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium looks like next season, you know, in the Championship. But congratulations. It certainly was. We had a great goal on. Do you remember Tom Casey, Paul? We featured junior football before. He scored a wonder goal. That was incredible. Congratulations. Declan, right, we said congratulations. Well done. So, how did it move to Pennsylvania come about? Like, it sounds, to somebody my age, it sounds like a remarkable thing. How did all this come about?
Well, about 2 years ago, I got selected to play for my county, for Somerset, and there was this, so you go through agencies to help you get over to America, and this agency followed us, all our county players, on social media after watching one of our games, and from there we started exploring the idea of me actually moving out to America. We knew it wouldn't be till I was 18, so it was still a bit far away, but then I burst my appendix a couple of months later, and the idea sort of went away almost. We sort of stopped thinking about it as much and just focused on getting back to playing football. But then I think it was around, must have been around this time last year. My dad was on Facebook, seeing an advert pop up
from Man City, wasn't it?
yeah, online for this agency to do like a trial. So we went up to Bristol on a trial, and then from there we had I passed the trials there. We had an academic interview online talking about my GCSE grades and what I'm predicted in college, and from there I was accepted into the agency.
It is a remarkable opportunity. How did Mum and Dad feel about it? You know,
fantastic.
I think they are really happy for me, but a bit nervous with how far I'm going away for and how long I'm going away for. So yeah.
I think you've checked out the flights to Pennsylvania, Dave, have you?
Yeah, and to be fair, there's only I think there's 4 days a week. There's direct flights over to Pittsburgh, which is like the nearest town, city, or whatever, to where he's going. So I'm sure only having like a 7-hour flight away from where he's going. You know, a 7 or 8 hour flight away from where he's going. Yeah, and that. So it's just, yeah. It could have been worse. It could have been like in the middle of nowhere, where you got to catch one flight and then like an internal flight, and then you got a 2-3 hour drive or something. So it's not turned out too bad where he's going.
Yeah. Fantastic, absolutely brilliant opportunity. I have to go back to the goal, Declan, because as I said, I've watched that about 30 times this weekend. When did you decide to take that shot? Like, you're running towards a goal, you're out there, you have a fine left peg on you anyway, but when did you decide to take the shot?
It was just after I nutmegged the second player. I took a touch, and their centre back felt the game. He'd been giving our striker quite a bit of trouble, like flying into tackles, smashing about here and everywhere. So I was half expecting him to clatter me by the time I took that heavy touch. But I seen him back off and just seen it there. So I just thought, why not? And then I hit it, and then it went in.
Yeah.
Absolute beauty.
In memory of the great Frank Worthington, did you ever consider passing it back to the goalkeeper before you shot?
No, I was never passing that. I seen you don't normally ever get you'll never get a chance again likely to have a shot in a ex-Premiership stadium. So I thought I might as well take it, and luckily it paid off.
Yeah, very well done. Very well done.
What ground was that?
West Broadstone, the Hawthorns.
Right.
Oh.
Hawthorns in West Birmingham. Good grind.
Birmingham.
Okay. If you were, what's the standard of football like out there? You know,
I haven't really seen much of it because quite a lot of their videos are protected over there because with us being in England and stuff like that, they're blocked by American websites and things like that. So I haven't been able to see any videos yet. But with the intensity of the training, they're training over there 6 times a week, playing games and things like that at least twice a week. I'd expected it to be quite a high standard of football. We're playing over there, quite a competitive, competitive nature with the players to try and get fighting for first team spots and things like that. Because I think this season, we have 12, they're called freshmen, 12 new players being integrated into the team because it was the coach's first season proper recruiting. So he joined last year, but this was his first season as recruiting new players. So I think it's quite a lot of new faces in there to try and rebuild a new team really.
Well, I'm not sure Paul's just gone off there. He had a question, but in terms of the scholarship, you give us some outline there. I think this was, how difficult was it to get this?
I would say fairly difficult, but with the agency we went through, they helped out quite a bit. So with the agency that I went through, First Point USA, they had a website set up which college coaches from all over America can subscribe to, and you have different sections to fill out. I had to make a I think it was like a 8 or 9 minute clip of like my videos throughout the years playing, filled out my academic results, personal things about me, all these different like areas sort of. And then along with my almost agent that I was with, he was reaching out to coaches for them to see me. And then one morning, because their time zones are different, I woke up one morning to a message from a coach in Pennsylvania saying he'd love to have a call with me and is looking for me to play for him for next season. It was the first call actually we had with coaches, because sometimes you can get to a case where you've got multiple coaches looking at you. But we had the call, me, my dad and Becky, my stepmom, had the call with him. And as soon as we finished the call, it seemed like the perfect place to go, really. With the way they play football, it's not too far away from home, if you see where I'm coming from. Where it could have been the other side of America, near like your Las Vegas and things like that. It's an easy flight to get to. It seemed like a nice place. It just seemed like the perfect fit, really.
Fantastic. Well, I'm not sure if you dropped out. I was just asking.
I did completely. Absolutely, completely.
We're not how difficult it was to secure scholarship. I just taking us through that, and talking about matches.
Yeah, well, I was thinking about this at the weekend. I was thinking, do you go out there as a academical student, or is it just
you're on mute,
Paul?
You're on
how
mute.
Does it work? How does the whole thing work? I'm on mute, am
I heard you there.
Yeah, no, I
can't hear Paul now.
I'll drop out again.
Okay. Stay there, David.
Can you hear me now, Dave?
What Paul was saying there was basically, are you going out as a student or are you going out as a footballer, and how do you match the two up? And what's the requirement? What do they expect from you in the States? I'd known a couple of people who had gone over on golf scholarships, and to be blunt, it probably didn't work out quite as they expected, because they didn't realize they were doing so much studies and they let that slip a bit, and one of them came home. So, I mean, is there that level of requirement for you?
Yeah, well, I am mainly going out there as a student. The studies always comes first. It's always with the scholarship you're granted. That you can never have it taken away through your athletic performances. You can only have them taken away through your academic performances. So if that slips at all, you can have, depending on how drastic it is, you could be kicked out of college. You could be be kicked off the team. Like, they could take a lot of things away, which would stop me from playing over there. So the main part of it is the academic side, and then the football is obviously a really nice part of it as well.
I think in that lot, from our point of view as a parent, you get sort of like players over, sort of like here in England, say, who go on to academies and all they concentrate on is football and things like that. But then when they get released at, say, 18, they've done no study, they come out and they've got no backup whatsoever. But what's good about that we found, like over in America, is their study is just as important as the football aspect of, your football, your golf, your swimming, they do basketball or whatever. So if they do fail as a footballer, they've always got, his business degrees doing over there and things like that. It's something to fall back on. So they are big. They are big on the study as well, which is good from our point of view. Because I think it's something stupid like 0.1% or 2% of people, sort of like make a career out of football, in that lot. So when he comes out, he'll have his business degree, and then it's up to him what he wants to follow.
Yeah, it's a very good idea. I would back that up, because one of the people I had in mind is now a very successful golf pro, golf teacher. Yeah. And they're doing extremely well. The other one's going to be an agent, they use the business side of the studies.
Yeah.
Both are doing well. So there's always offshoots. You say the 0.001, you make it but there are others, there are offshoots that can be exploited too. And as long as you keep the studies going, I think that's very good. Yeah.
So can you hear me now, lads? Can you? I had a bit of a technical drop out there. Yeah. Okay, I'll get to ask you a question, Declan. Declan, where do you see yourself 3 or 5 years' time after this is the scholarship's finished? City ground playing beside Zach Abbott, or where does it lead you to?
That'd be the dream, but if we're talking, I couldn't really tell you, to be honest with you, because it's a long 4 years really. I couldn't say what opportunities could arise. I think the plan, if it was to happen right now, would be to come back to England. But I don't know what could happen when I'm over there. Ideally, if I was to be picked up by a professional team, right place at the right time, play well in a game, you never know what could happen. But I don't really know, to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, it's all about a bit of luck as well. But hard work and luck can sometimes get you a long way, so we wish you the very best with it. Anyway.
I think the caption is, the newspaper will be, following his dream move from Nottingham Forest to Tottenham Hotspur, Declan Berry scores winning goal in the Champions League final, beating players from 82 and lobbying goalkeeper. How's that? That's it.
I think you maybe get Champions League mixed up with Championship there, Colin.
Yeah, something like that. Maybe it was a delay. Okay. Declan, what are you going to miss most from home? Apart from Mum, Dad, what are you going to miss most?
I think it's I haven't really thought about it too much, to be honest with you. I'd probably just say just being around everyone, it's quite a different quite obviously a very different place to where I'm living now, not having like your mates right next to you and your family right next to you to go calling on them whenever you need something or whatever. So I think it's just missing the people around me, I'd say, mostly.
Yeah.
So you're going to come back with the half Wurzel, half American accent. Is that the way it's going to be?
Nah, I reckon I'll keep this accent.
I think though, like in this day and age you've got now, with the FaceTimes in you know what I mean, and things like that. Yes, and that. Like you are away, but you only ever, like this now and that. Like you're both like in Ireland, things like that now. So we can see each other, we can speak to each other. So it's not as if like how it was when I was younger and things like that, where it's like a postcard or you got to write to people and things like that. Now you only ever like a FaceTime phone call away from somebody.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's a lot easier now than standing on a telephone box in a winter's night in Dark Street trying to get through. Technology's on your side. Yeah, exactly. Technology's on your side. Well, that's a great insight into what you're going to be doing. Well, you're both good, solid footballing people here. So let's get down to predictions for next weekend and next Thursday night, especially. Porto away, lads. How do you think it's going to go?
We'll win.
Yeah, I'm fairly confident we'll win.
Yeah. I think we'll win 2-0 over there.
Oh, I'll take that right now. Colin, have you any views on that game?
1 each. Draw.
Each, and then coming back to the city ground down. Yeah, well, I hope so. So the following weekend, Colin, you were saying there, Friday night, we've got the Sunderland, not the Sunderland game. We've got
West Ham.
Yeah. So, do you think you would get into the weekend's football in the relegation zone, or how do you think it's going to work out?
Yeah, head over heart. Yeah, I think West Ham will beat Wolves. I think it'll be tight, but I think they'll edge it. 2-1, I think. And then it's up to Spurs. And, if West Ham win, a draw isn't good enough at Sunderland, And I just don't know what to predict. All my predictions have been so wrong so far. I don't really know what to do. Maybe I predict I don't know. I just have Sunderland are playing out of their skins. They'll be on a high from the victory over Newcastle.
Yep.
They'll not be coming out their flip-flops. So I have a feeling Spurs are going to lose that one. Yeah. And then maybe...
How do you see this flat? And then what, sorry?
And then reality will kick in, because I think David mentioned earlier that they've never been in this position, and nor has De Zerbi. And I think the players not sure they realise what the position they're in yet. I don't think it has sunk in with some of these guys. There's probably someone protecting themselves. Go, well, I'll not be here anyway, you know. But we'll see.
I went to the Forest Tottenham game last week. Up there at the Tottenham's ground. Actually, we was all there at the home game, weren't we, at the Forest Tottenham match? And we was in. I was fortunate enough to be in Jill and Justin's box that day. But I went to the away match last week, and I've never seen, like, it's almost like the Tottenham players have given up. They've given up. To me, watching from the sidelines, you had that Gray, is it? Archie Gray?
Yeah. Gray.
And Burkwine, is it? Burkval, the blonde lad who plays.
Burkval, yeah.
Burkval, them there. And them two was literally fighting for each ball, each tackle, each header. They ran their heart out, the pair of them. But it was your Van der Ven, your Romero's, your keeper, even Spence with Charlison, Solanke. They'd all just given up. They wasn't fighting for the ball. They wasn't.
You're right. I mean, Soros and Solanke, you know, they managed to hide. You know, witness protection couldn't have done a better job of hiding them. Than on the pitch themselves. They played the two of them up front, which is rare, and it absolutely didn't work. And Forest let Chastel run himself down blind alley. But we've gone through. I mean, you're right. And actually, where the Forest fans are, my seat is just to the left of them. If you're looking at the screen up above them, you know.
Yeah.
That's where my season ticket is. But yeah, that's the point, Dave. I think that we don't realise the trouble. There's a better word than that.
Yeah.
Trouble we're in.
Do you know, I went for a couple of pints the other night, and as a crowd of us, we talked non-stop about football. And I'm sorry, I know I said something similar last week, Colin, but I'll say it again. I asked every single person who's gone down with West Ham and Burnley, and every one of them said Spurs, and they've no axe to grind. There was no Arsenal men among them or anything like that there. They just seem to think that that's the... I just want to bring it back to Forest briefly before we make predictions for the weekend's football, guys. Declan, do we play a second string of players at Porto, or do we take this serious now and put out a good team, the best team, or what do we do?
I'd say we have to go with the first team, really. I think this season as a whole hasn't been the best, and I think for Pereira to proper get all the fans on side, I think he proper goes for the Europa League and makes something memorable out of it. I think it's already been really memorable for most fans, but if he can just keep on plugging along, playing it game by game, getting us that little bit further to the trophy, I think it'll be the best thing for him as a manager here, and it'll go a long way if he gets us far in that.
Yeah. Dave, do you agree, or is it too early to go with the full team?
First team straight on. We beat who did we beat in the last round? I'm just trying to think now. Midtjylland in the last round, and then we beat Tottenham. It's just to continue the winning mentality of the team, I think. You know what I mean? Just get the boys out there.
Yeah.
Just get the first team out there to win that match. Don't look at it as like a game that we can take back to the City ground. And let's just try and get the job done over there straight away. We've already played over there. We know what to expect. We know the weather. We know the ground and everything like that. So let's just go out there and win the first leg and play the first team. Because if we win, over there, it just takes us into the next game at home. You know, like in the league and that lot, just for us to kick on again.
Yeah, it's amazing how much energy you have when you're winning, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you're not tired when you're winning. Illusions a habit too, but I would go with that too. I think Forest should go for it. I think the big danger is Villa, to be blunt, but you could have an all-English final like last season. You just never know. But I think that
I can't.
You know,
we will meet Villa. If we're successful, we'll meet Villa in the semi-final.
Well, I mean that you're going to meet them somewhere.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yes.
You know, I think that they, unfortunately, in a way, because their Champions League position through the league is increasingly under scrutiny, they will try to win the Europa. You know, to get in, because the Champions League is a big prize at the end of that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, I think we have to. I think both teams are going to be going for it. So just before we finish up on Spurs, Colin, I just want to ask the boys one more final question about Forest. The home game against Villa, it's my hope going over to the Porto at home game that we're going in there with a couple of goal advantage and with a victory under our belt from Villa. Can we do that? Can I dream of that coming over to the City Ground, having 3 more points off Villa and two goals in the bag? How do you end up against Villa?
I'll take a draw right now. If you offer me a draw now, I'll take a draw. Can we beat them? I think we can beat anybody. Really, there. They proved against like the likes of Liverpool. We beat them. We had Man City. We took to the wire and drew against them and that lot. So I don't see any reason whatsoever why we can't get something against Aston Villa as well. And the fact that Chris Wood's back in training now. So it wouldn't surprise me if he sneaks on off the bench and maybe scores one in the last few minutes or something.
Gets one in. Yeah, Declan, do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. I think on our day, if all the players are up for it, fired up for it, the fans will behind them. Especially when the fans are up for it, it gives them players just that little bit extra to go over the line. So I reckon we'll beat them.
Yeah, Colin. So we'll go back to Spurs again. How do you evaluate your next couple of weeks? I know we've sort of talked briefly about it. You're away to Sunderland. You could be going into that game in the bottom 3. You know that we've got Chris Wood coming back to your team, which is a great advocate. You're a great advocate of Chris Wood. I guess we just have to mirror what you guys do now, and from this point onwards.
As I said last week, we need to match what West Ham, Forest, and Spurs did. I'm not tried at the minute. So whatever West Ham do, we need to do the same as both Forest and Spurs in order to stay up. I think Forest are in a much better position to do that, both in terms of the fixtures and in terms of the players. I've always been a good fan of Wood, as you know. I think he will. Yeah. I think you've noticed his absence, to be frank. I don't think Forest would have been quite in as bad a position had he been available all season, because he's a definite asset to how Forest play. So that's what I think. But I do think we'll be in the bottom 3 by the time we kick off against Sunderland. What De Zerbi can do between now and then, I hope it's magic. We pull something unlikely out of it, and these boys turn on. Not only Gray and Bergvall, but the others. I really do. I really do. Okay.
Well, I was going to ask you for your predictions, Colin, of how the table will look after next weekend's football, and I'll go to the lads and ask them, how do you think it's going to look after the game? Will you be in after the full weekend's programme is over? Where will you be, and where will West Ham be?
West Ham will be above us. That's what I said. We'll be in the bottom 3. Wolves and Burnley will be no different. Because Wolves have lost to West Ham. We'll be in the bottom 3, and West Ham will have come one above us. I think Forest will have got another point, at least, and be pulling away. Leeds will actually slip into the mire a wee bit.
Right. Declan, do you agree? How's the table going to look after next weekend's football as we finish up?
Yeah, I think recently West Ham's been playing really well, so I can't see Wolves getting anything from that game, to be honest with you. And yeah, I reckon Tottenham's going to go into the bottom 3 after that.
Dave?
I just think that for Tottenham to get out of trouble, De Zerbi's got to change his whole philosophy of how he's managed at Brighton, Marseille, and playing out the back. But if they do play out the back, I think them players at the back Tottenham's got, your Van de Ven, your Romero, your Spence, have just given up. So, I don't think Tottenham had the players to play out of the back in the past, and they've got them same players again, and now they're in a dogfight. They'll just be doing the exact same again. And I think Tottenham will be in the bottom 3, after the weekend. And I think that once they're in there, I think it's a long way for them to get out, to be honest with you.
I actually can't believe we're having this conversation. In all honesty, I can't believe that we're talking about Spurs being in the relegation zone.
But if you look at the Tottenham, they finished 17th last year, and now they're in the bottom 3. people, including me, seem to be surprised that Tottenham's down there. But if you look at the gradual slope of where they're going, it shouldn't be a surprise to where they are, judging on what's happened in the last few years or whatever. But the only thing that makes people think that it's not a surprise, it's just the fact they won the UEFA League last year. You know?
Yeah. Well, we wish you all the best, Colin. We do. I hope it's not. I hope what you have predicted doesn't come to pass. I really do, and I hope that we do well. Guys, thank you very much. Declan, Dave, thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you.
Declan, can I take this opportunity to wish you all the very, very best in your scholarship? I hope it goes well for you. I hope if you hit the big time, you'll remember that Separated with Water was the first podcast you come on to, and you'll come on and visit us again. Dave, good luck with the Devils. I have to say that I admire grassroots football. It's people like yourselves that make the players for the future, and the efforts you make. Honestly, it's the long and short of it. If there's no wee clubs like yours, nobody makes it to the big time. So thank you very much for your efforts on that, and thanks for coming on and sharing it with us. And that's it, lads. We've run on to 56 minutes. We're way over time, but anyway, it was lovely chatting to you. Take care.
Thank you very much.
Safe, Declan, and we'll look forward to seeing you soon. And we'll maybe see you over at one of the matches before the end of the season, Dave. You never know. So we will.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, guys. Colin, thank you very much. Take care, guys.
Take care.
And we'll sign off. Take care. Thanks, guys.